The Gator could move down, play linebacker, so could Purefoy.
And they'll rotate 8 different defensive linemen. First down, back to the hands of White. Got a hole, and White surging down to around the 16.
Boy, what a East semifinal for John White. He single-handedly advanced Edmonton to that East final against Ottawa last year. Ran into a hot team, but John White was the key in that semi.
Fourth in the league in rushing, 886 yards. And Jason Moss said yesterday, we'll be even more balanced this year. White dancing, but the play is stopped.
He stopped well before the whistle.
Yeah. Not sure whether play had been whistled in or not.
The previous play was stopped due to a phantom whistle in the stands.
Okay,
we'll replay this down.
We've had this before here in BC. Lights picked up anything, but John White heard something, and Al Bradbury did too.
Smart by Al Bradbury to blow it dead, though, because half the guys stopped and half didn't.
Give it back to White, and waiting for him was Brian Turner, but a horse collar penalty at the end of the play is going to negate the loss for the BC defense.
Yeah, and John White drew that penalty. He drew it with his effort because he was caught in the backfield. That was
major foul, horse collar tackle. BC number 92, half distance to goal, automatic first down.
That was a nice stunt up front, and you saw Brian Turner get there, but because he kept working at it, see, he could have gone down here, White, and then that wouldn't have been a horse collar, but he kept working, trying to dig for yards. Then Bryant pulls him backwards by the jersey from behind. That draws a penalty flag. Effort will sometimes draw a penalty for you.
So the Eskimos knock on the door. First and goal. Now Hazelton in motion. Takes that little toss and it's read well. And David Menard, who had just checked in, makes the stop.
You're talking about discipline here from David Menard. David Menard now, his job is to get up the field here and keep contained. But how often do we see defensive ends get sucked into that play action move and then lose that containment, allowing the ball carrier outside? Not that time for Menard.
Considered a passing play, a loss of 3. Second and goal from the 10. Riley with pressure into the back of the end zone. Watson can't make the catch. Anthony Gator there defensively. And the field goal team will have to come on.
No pressure off the edge. Gator was in coverage. But Mike Riley can't block them all, and he knows it. Here comes that pressure around the edge.
DeQuinn Evans turns up the heat. 3 sacks in the preseason to earn a job on the Lions line. And here's Sean White. 18 yards. White hasn't missed from inside 50 in his last 55 attempts. So that one he can do in his sleep. And the Eskimos take the lead. Just over 4 minutes left, opening quarter. Well, he's one of the rising stars in the league and trying to get even better with more on Jonathan Jennings. Here's Farhan Lalji.
Chris, I asked Jennings what his changes were in the offseason in terms of his training regimen. He said, physically, I did nothing better, but mentally, there were a number of different changes. He said he wanted to exercise his brain, so he loaded a number of different brain apps, things that would force him to react faster with the hopes that it would translate into being able to read quicker on the field. And then he said he read a number of books, a book called Uncommon by Tony Dungy, another one called Mind Gems, wanting to find out why the brain at times goes on people, including athletes. He wanted to know why people stress out, and it gave him a whole new perspective on his role in all of this, and he believes going forward he's going to be in a much better place to handle his emotions, to handle success and failure in a much more consistent way, and he thinks that'll help take his game to the next level.
Boy, mature beyond his years, just 24 years of age, played all 18 last year, 12-6, and the 4th BC line in history to pass for over 5,000 yards. Kicking away from Rainey and into the hands of Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson will be taken down there as Malumba Shimanga with a special teams tackle.
Yeah, it's quite a list of names, too, when you think of the BC Lions that have thrown for over 5,000, and for Jonathan Jennings at 23 to do it in his first year as a starter. Same thing that Doug Flutie, Dave Dickinson, and Casey Printers in that big 2004 year accomplished for BC. I think this is a quarterback that can get to 6,000.
I talked to Mike Riley about that yesterday. I think both quarterbacks have a chance
Absolutely.
at 6,000 yards.
Another one in Alberta could do it too.
Yep. As Johnson hit in the backfield, not going anywhere, and that was DeQuan Bowers with first contact to create the 3-yard loss.
Boy, are they getting even better, this Edmonton defensive line on the interior?
That's what Mike Benavides feels.
Because is that possible? I mean, Euclid Cummings and Armando Sewell, as good as it gets in there. Now you throw in the rotation with Bowers, and you got 3 in there that can shut it down.
So 2nd and 13. 4-man rush coming. Jennings in trouble. Drops it. Sherritt's got it. J.C. Sherritt scoops up the loose ball as the Eskimo pressure forces the turnover.
I think Jonathan Jennings here, when he stepped up from the pressure, he was looking to still throw the ball. And you're going to see pressure from the bottom. There's Odell Willis getting upfield. Pressure from the opposite side as well. Philip Hunt, and Odell strips it out of there. J.C. Sherritt, who is always around the football, comes up with the fumble recovery.
Two of the mainstays. Sherritt in his 7th year at middle linebacker. Willis, his 5th year as an Eskimo, 9th in the league. And John White takes the handoff and a big run straight ahead, and he won't go down. Driving inside the 10.
Well, that'll be a play that they'll mark for film study. Win or lose in this game, the Edmonton Eskimos are going to love to be sitting in the film room and watch this happen with Jonathan White in the backfield, hitting it hard. First of all, that's Solomon Elimimian that has to fight off the block of Matt O'Donnell. And then look at the second effort after the fact as John White's legs keep churning, chugging, pushing, and that's Solomon Elimimian.
13, they're going back into that corner, this time for Bowman. Can't make the catch up against Anthony Thompson. New on the corner for BC.
Yeah, first start tonight. Why not test him? I'm sure Mike Riley wants to see how he reacts, and pretty good coverage. This is top receiver in the league in Bowman, and that's pretty good coverage. Didn't bite on that inside fake, stayed upfield and read his hands.
The second time the Eskimos have been knocking at the door. Settled for 3 the last time. 2nd and goal from the 9.
Mike Riley has moved Bowman into that number 3 position, the slot back position.
Sillstrom, Williams, the wideouts. Here comes the rush. They'll screen it to White. And White is swarmed. Elimimian on the scene to drop him for a loss. And the Lions defense holds.
Well, defensive linemen in front of Solomon Elimimian are going to have to try and take up and eat some of these blocks. But watch Elimimian fight this one off and get to the football. He's got some big guys now that he's trying to work on. So he gets a block from behind there from Rotier, has to fight that one through, and then still regroup, get in the tackling position, lower that shoulder, and explode into John White. 130 tackles last year for 56.
All CFL again. 20-yard field goal attempt for White. And he knocks that one through. 45 of 48 last year. His only misses came from outside the 50 and off the foot of White. It's a 6-2 Edmonton lead, but just 3 points off that turnover.
Yeah, and that's a win for the defense, because in that sudden change, you want to just throw that dagger offensively And if you don't and settle for a field goal, you feel like you got out of some trouble there if you're the BC Lions. So let's see if Jonathan Jennings can build on that.
So Jennings right back to work. Team was third in giveaways last year. Fakes to Johnson, rolls out, has an open man, and Iannuzzi with the catch and rolls into the Edmonton bench. A first down up at the BC 52. It's a pickup of 17.
Throw on the run. Great form from Jonathan Jennings. And Marco Iannuzzi, big game against Saskatchewan in the preseason. Moved him inside, so he's not playing that same wide out, wide side field wide receiver every single snap he is on this one.
29 catches last year, but with the retirement of Sean Gore, maybe more work this season. Fake to Reedy. Arsenault takes a hit. That ball never reached him, deflected en route. And Jennings has to pick himself up as well.
There's some plastic pop in there.
That's Konar getting a hand on it, and Arsenault paid for being in the area. Son of a former BC Lion. Adam Konar, dad Kevin. Second down, penalty as Johnson takes the pass and gets away. Jeremiah Johnson, drilled by Ladler, would be a first down, but it's coming back on a hold.
Yeah, it looked like it was a hold on Odell Willis, and the way Antonio Johnson, the right
illegal
tackle.
block, hands to the face, BC, number 57. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Okay, hands to the face. Either way, when Johnson's over there talking to the official and trying to plead his case, you can pretty much tell who the guilty party is.
And the mayor of Commonwealth's been prominent early.
Yeah, and by the way, Odell Willis, he knew right away too. He came off the edge after this was dumped off. You see the hand up in the face. Now, if it slides up and gets the face mask and you bring it down immediately, it's okay. Can't hold it up there and bend the guy's neck back.
So a 22-yard pickup is wiped out, and now pre-snap movement. Both teams pointing at each other.
Offside. Edmonton, number 90. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And it's Armando Sewell who jumped first.
It's an area of concern early last year for Edmonton. Mike Benavides, defensive coordinator, was trying to get even their veterans up to speed in a new system. Now the veterans know the system, so it's just the young guys that are learning it. Way further ahead.
Second and 15, more pressure. Jennings rolls, wide open. It's Nick Moore down around the 20, stripped of the football. It's still loose, and I think Edmonton's got it, although they're still battling for it. And there's a flag way back in the BC backfield. It is Lion football. Somehow they got it back.
Boy, how did he get it back? Because it looked like they were outnumbered there when the fumble came out. See what this penalty is. Everyone's walking back towards that line of scrimmage, the original line.
Holding, BC, number 57. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Antonio Johnson.
Wow.
Yesterday, Wally Buono said that his offensive line is way ahead of last year, but they're having difficulty in this first quarter.
Yeah, and it's the same guy back-to-back calls. One hands to the face. Let's take a look. Sliding out in that protection, trying to pick up the stunt. He just gets that hand outside, hangs on to the jersey too long on Euclid Cummings.
So this time a 43-yard play is wiped out. And penalties have been costly, including the 90-yard punt return touchdown. Jennings in trouble, and he'll get dropped. Armando Sewell and the Eskimos defensive line is rolling here in the first quarter. Boy, we thought there'd be a lot of explosive plays on offense, but the defense, in particular the Edmonton defense, dominant here for the opening quarter. Welcome back. First quarter numbers. We thought the offenses would be big in this game, but the defenses had the edge in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think that Edmonton defense already better. Odell Willis making an impact in game one for him and quarter one. But, you know, when you look at the BC Lions, we have seen some explosive plays that have been taken off the board due to penalty. Right now, the BC Lions are getting in their own way. I mean, the Chris Rainey 90-yard punt return, that was just a bad decision by Adrian Clark, and a couple back-to-back penalties on the O-line.
Nevertheless, I think there were a lot of question marks about what Edmonton's defense would look like with a lot of people having departed, but that's a pretty impressive first 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Lions punt it away, Ty Long, and he'll drive Peters back at least 10 yards. Gary Peters on the return, a little open room, and now brought down around the 47-yard line. Oh, we mentioned how many top 50 players are in this game. Mike Riley, number 2, but not really a priority for his teammates or him.
Some guys use that as motivation. For me, I got much bigger plans than being the #1 player on a preseason ranking. I've been there before, but I've held a Grey Cup trophy up, and I can tell you the feeling of being a Grey Cup champion is a lot better than being #1 on a preseason poll.
So he's number 2 in the top 50 and number 1 for dressing the day before the game, eh?
That was quite a hat he was styling there. Yeah, absolutely. Number 1 2 years ago in the top 50 rankings, and then Bo Levi Mitchell, and no one's arguing about the #1 choice this year. But yeah, I think you ask any player and they'll tell you, yeah, given the choice between being #1 in the poll or holding the Grey Cup, I'll take the second choice. Thank you.
Second and 9 at the 47. Riley to throw. Has a lot of time. And now you'll have to pull it down. Goes to the sidelines, and Hazelton can't bring it down. A couple of defenders there. Anthony Gator and Anthony Thompson. Second 2 and out for Mike, who reunited with family for this game. Wife Emily and new daughter Brooklyn taking in her first game.
And I'll tell you right now who the quarterback in their house is. Her. Just gnawing on those headphones.
First set of her first headset. John White handles all the kicking duties. Grant Shaw no longer with the Eskimos. That looked like no yards, and yes, the flag does come down. A 33-yard punt. Iannuzzi fielded it. And they'll improve the field position when they tack on the penalty yardage. Join us at the half of the GMC Professional Grade Playbook. Tonight, Matt Dunnigan explains the technique of the quarterback sneak. After the penalty, a net of just 17 on that last punt. And so the Lions take over at their 46. Shot at the safety, Neil King. Jennings on a roll. J.C. Sherritt there, and a incomplete pass. Arsenault tried to tiptoe along the sidelines.
What's important, I think, right now for the psyche of the Lions offensively is just to put a drive together. 3 or 4 first downs, maybe finish with a field goal even. Sort of been hit and miss. They're getting penalties, taking big plays off the board. Kahar Jones got to just settle this whole thing down, maybe get the run game involved a little bit more as well. Not on second and long unless you're going screen drop.
Bala back in as the blocking back. Moore in motion. 4 receivers wide side. Rainey to the short side. And Jennings scrambling. He'll take off and come up short at the 53-yard line. Jonathan Jennings brought down by Daquan Bowers, and Adam Konar has been in the area defensively as well.
Here, let me explain something here. When the BC Lions go in with Rolly Lumbala and they take Jeremiah Johnson out, he's in behind Jonathan Jennings right now. What it tells the defensive line, the downside of this is that this is going to be basically pass. I mean, they may throw in the odd screen to Lumbala, but for the most part, he's in there to pass protect. So they can pin their ears back and go after Jonathan Jennings. With Jeremiah Johnson in there, they have to spy him first and then can get into their pass rush move. So there's a good side to it for BC because Lumbala could be an offensive lineman. He's such a good blocker back there. The downside is it basically cuts loose the D-line.
J.C. Sherritt down and getting attention. In his 90th game. Looks like J.C.'s going to be okay. Well, he's still staying down, so we'll step out. Just early second quarter. 6-2 Eskimos. At from BMO as Mark Trestman returns, and you hate speculating, but take a look at what happens to J.C. Sherritt.
Yeah, positive thoughts for Sherritt, because when you're by yourself, no contact, and he reaches for the back heel area.
That is often the Achilles, and the Eskimos know too much about that injury as this ball bounces out of bounds. John White, John Ojo in the last couple of years, Darian Durant among many. It just seems to be a more frequent injury in the last few years.
Doc Sunderland, the new general manager, VP of football ops, obviously very concerned here. Starting middle linebacker. They're looking at that Achilles.
Centerpiece of that defense. Eskimos start at their 60. Tyler looked back. Maybe some miscommunication, but a nice catch there by Zylstra, who reached back to grab it, took a jolt, but Brandon Zylstra, who played the final 6 games last year, over 500 yards. And they talk about his big catch radius. He shows it here.
Yeah,